In a few years, your money could simply burn up if you don't spend it by the end of the month on state-approved goods. The era of cash is ending right now before your very eyes, giving way to total financial control over your every step and every breath. Forget about bailiffs and lengthy blocking procedures. In the new digital reality, an AI algorithm will wipe your balance to zero for a single wrong purchase. Remember the official narrative. For years, we've been told that cashless payments mean unparalleled convenience, instantaneous speed, and absolute security for society. Bankers in expensive suits smile from TV screens, explaining how total digitalization will permanently defeat corruption, money laundering, and the financing of terrorism. But behind the glossy presentations at economic forums lies a completely different, cynical, and utterly cold calculation by the global financial elites. We are talking about CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. Do not confuse them with Bitcoin, which was originally created for independence and freedom. A CBDC is the ultimate anti-cryptocurrency. It is absolute centralization, where every single cent has an embedded serial number and a strictly programmed behavioral algorithm. Now look at these numbers. Today, more than 130 countries, representing 98% of the global GDP, are already developing their own digital currencies. The Bank for International Settlements in Basel, Switzerland, the so-called central bank of all central banks, is secretly forcing this global transition through the transnational Project Icebreaker. The general manager of this institution, Augustine Carstens, openly stated a couple of years ago, "With CBDCs, we will have absolute control over how money is used." And this total control is built on so-called programmable money. This means that, technically, your savings no longer belong to you. Imagine a smart contract, hard-coded into your personal digital wallet, that unilaterally decides whether you are worthy of buying a cut of fresh beef today. Transnational giants like the BlackRock Corporation are actively pushing the climate agenda. Now, your personal carbon footprint will be directly linked to your bank account. The Swedish fintech company Doconomy has already successfully tested a credit card that automatically blocks payments at the checkout if you exceed your CO2 emission limit. Tomorrow, this technology will become a basic, undisableable feature of the state digital dollar, euro, or ruble. You will simply be physically unable to pay for fuel or meat. But an automatic denial of purchase is just the tip of the iceberg. The real existential threat lies in the programmable expiration date of your savings. To artificially stimulate the economy during crises, central banks will issue money that will vanish irrevocably if not spent within 30 days. You will no longer be able to save for a rainy day. You will not be able to pass wealth down to your children. You will be obligated to consume continuously, greasing the cogs of the corporate machine. This is not a dystopian scenario. In China, during the pilot testing of the digital yuan, authorities have already distributed money to the population with a strict expiration date of a few weeks. In Nigeria, the forced introduction of the state digital currency e-naira led to an artificial cash shortage created by the authorities. People were literally driven by force into a new cage. Nigerians took to mass protests, but the global Western media chose to ignore it, because this exact scenario will soon be repeated worldwide. Your financial autonomy is being methodically destroyed under the plausible pretext of caring for the planet and global security. And it is all managed by AI loyalty algorithms. Every single transaction, from buying coffee to paying rent, must be approved in real time by a soulless artificial intelligence system. One step out of line, denied. Did you write a critical comment about the government on a social network? The algorithm instantly lowers your social credit score, and the cost of a loan doubles for you. Did you wire a donation to an independent journalist? The system automatically flags you as an unreliable element and blocks you from purchasing train or plane tickets. Remember the trucker protests in Canada? The Trudeau government invoked the Emergencies Act to freeze the bank accounts of anyone who disagreed with their policies. Back then, officials had to manually call private banks. With the ubiquitous implementation of CBDCs, this process of blocking millions of citizens will take fractions of a second at the push of a single button. You don't even need to be a street activist. Simply buying goods from a so-called red list on a regular basis is enough for the system to activate penalties against you. The architects of this digital prison are the biggest players on Wall Street and in Silicon Valley, who are writing the new rules of the game behind closed doors right now. Corporations like Visa and MasterCard have spent years sharing massive datasets of your purchases with analytical think tanks, building highly detailed profiles of consumer behavior. Now these private profiles will be merged with government databases. Transnational corporations will know more about your weaknesses than you do yourself. The Digital Euro project by the European Central Bank already includes secret directives that allow for strict limits on how much digital currency ordinary citizens can hold. The official reason, stated in press releases, is preventing capital flight. The real, hidden reason is absolute control over liquidity and the population's dependence on the state. In the U.S., amendments to the Uniform Commercial Code are quietly being pushed forward right now, legally stripping independent cryptocurrencies of their status as money, clearing the path for the Fed's monopoly. The U.S. Federal Reserve launched the FedNow payment system in July 2023. This is not just a service. It is an infrastructural Trojan horse for the digital dollar. For years, we have been conditioned to believe that refusing to submit biometrics and create a digital profile is the domain of paranoids, Luddites, and social outcasts. In automated Amazon Go stores, you just grab an item off the shelf and leave. Cameras recognize your face, and the algorithm automatically deducts the money. Maximum convenience, isn't it? But when, one fine day, that same biometric camera fails to recognize a sufficient level of loyalty on your face, the automatic door of the store simply won't open. The new system of invisible slavery is built not through violence or terror, but through everyday comfort. You voluntarily hand over the keys to your freedom for a little cash back. Bankers in London and New York understand perfectly well. To break any resistance, you must make the alternative, using physical money, unbearably difficult. First, they abolished large denomination bills under the pretext of fighting drug cartels and money laundering, as they demonstratively did with the 500 euro note. Next, a hidden tax on ATM cash withdrawals will be universally introduced, and supermarkets will simply be banned from accepting paper money out of fabricated hygiene concerns. And one day, you will wake up in a sterile world where a physical coin in your pocket is just a piece of useless metal, an illegal artifact from a bygone era. And all your personal finances are merely temporary strings of binary code on the central bank's servers, which can be erased with a single wave of a faceless bureaucrat's hand. The managing director of the IMF, Kristalina Georgieva, is already openly stating that national CBDCs must be united by a global infrastructure for total cross-border control. The last economic borders are being erased. Before our very eyes, a single global financial gulag is being constructed, where escape is fundamentally impossible because there is simply nowhere left to run. In this brave new reality, your poverty will be programmed by an algorithm. The elites will retain monopolistic access to real, tangible assets, land, gold, real estate. Meanwhile, the middle class and workers will be forced to operate with burning-type digital tokens, which physically cannot be invested or accumulated for future generations. Understand the main point. This is not just another economic reform or an upgrade to the banking system. It is an irreversible anthropological transition that erases the very essence of human freedom. Your fundamental right to private property, enshrined in constitutions centuries ago, is being silently annulled today through background software updates on your smartphones. And while you are distracted by entertainment shows and social media scandals, the financial noose around society's neck is tightening. The laws have already been passed. The quantum servers have already been launched. The question is no longer whether this digital takeover will happen. The only question is, how much time is left until the timer on your money hits 0? Remember this tomorrow morning when you mechanically tap your smartphone against a payment terminal, still clinging to the naive illusion of your own choice.